I'm here today to learn across multiple industries what are the new and innovative ideas and initiatives around sustainability that we can bring back into our organization and learn from. I think cross-industry discussions are really effective in moving, the sustainability issues forward.
What is today? Today is not a forum. Today is not a conference. Today is a think tank. Today is your container for expressing what you want to say and ask questions you want to ask, to really have an exchange of ideas that move into action.
Sustainability is the 21st century completion of the promise of democracy, and it's figuring out how do we, in a over-industrialized world, understand, make tangible and immediate for ourselves all of those things that when you lived in, maybe beyond hunter-gatherer, but when you lived in smaller communities, you had to know in order to be able to live, thrive, and survive.
Somebody's produced a cardboard bicycle. A cardboard bicycle that they can produce for like $50. And it's substantial. This is not something flimsy. This is something you can use. It's durable. And so innovation ultimately is going to be huge.
I've said before, I don't think we can shop our way out of this problem. I don't really think that the entire solution is about putting the right brand on a retail shelf. I think there's a civic action that's required and an attitude around how we will choose to live on the planet that then results in a variety of retail decisions. But I think what we have to do is change that attitude.
I have a dream. My dream is to take the whole discussion about the oil sands up to where it should be, which is emissions. It's not just about the oil sands, emissions in general and around the world. Climate change issues resulting from all of that. Why don't we think about, I don't know, Yasmin, if you and I have talked about this before, but why don't we think about taking the $2 billion that's now allocated in Alberta for research, development, scientific studies and so on how to mitigate emissions in the oil sands. Same thing with Ottawa with $1 billion, so that's $3 billion. I know that the US is spending $20 billion. Of course, they got the coal issue, right? And they're working, and of course, gas now will help to reduce coal emissions generally. So that's $23 billion. And try to form a group, which I would call the Manhattan Project, right? Trying to solve the world's biggest problem today, which is not putting a man on the moon, but which is reducing emissions.
My name is Margaret Hurd. I work for Park Property Management. We manage about 69 high-rise apartment buildings in Ontario.
And for me, I think one of the most important aspects is that we engage the rest of the industry. Being a leader is one thing. We had the market competitiveness at the front end of this, but you want to have a level playing field, and we therefore need to engage the rest of the industry here in Canada. And what can we do ultimately to engage the rest of the industry globally?
From the footprint perspective, it was really around the environment, around the CO2, down throughout our supply chain, the product life cycle itself, the waste and water consumption at our manufacturing facilities. So we really focused on the environmental point of view.
I've said this many times. I know everybody keeps saying, what's the business case for sustainability? Again, turn it around. What is the business case for destroying life and ecosystems on Earth? Don't let anybody else ask you to give the business case for sustainability. What's the business case for otherwise?
One of the major challenges that I see all the time is that good business leaders like you in this room come out of the CSR department and you're not funded properly by marketing. You don't have the budgets to get the message out. So when we do get budget and when we do get the message out and we connect to consumers, they are very interested. They vote with their dollar.
How do we reach out to other people to get positive things going? And maybe it's even showing these pictures to those groups will just engage them and entice them. It's not just reading 3-ring binders. So I think you have a message that we should get out, and that's what we should do.
I think in this room, we all dedicate our own little way to the intellectual challenge of how do we get the world to deal with this when the governments are doing nothing. If we wait for the governments on this, we will all go down. So my challenge is, and I say it to you, is it's purely intellectual, but it has a huge consequence. We need to think through how to put a price on carbon and deal with climate change in our own way. And I would hope that this initiative to rethink sustainability is focused on that from all the different possible ways that could be done. If we are in that political landscape, we are all here to say, how are we going to do it? That's what I'd like to be part of.
We are remembering the world, and especially since 2008, when people were talking about pushing a reset button. So we're resetting, we're reclaiming, we're renewing, reframing to restart society and accelerate our path to sustainability. The world beckons.
I thought today was an excellent session. As a sustainability leader, LoyaltyOne gets invited to participate in a lot of these think tanks, and the thing that was different today was the focus on action. Really saw a great commitment from all of the people participating, not only to create a list of things that we're going to do and continue to do together, but also a commitment on solving the problems and not just continuing the dialogue that we've done before.